but it's everyone from everyone. Isn't that just the problem? We're separated from the earth, now we do the same to each other.
Hello and welcome, and thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Mitch Priestley, and as you know, our program is the television stage for local musicians. Today, here in the television studio, I'm with local musician Forrest Mountain Lion, and with his compatriots and his band of the same name. Forrest Mountain Lion is the lead singer and the lead guitarist for the band. He's also a singer-songwriter, and the band, Forrest Mountain Lion, is based in Eugene, Oregon. It's my privilege to welcome them to our program, and we're going to find out more about their music, and we'll get to hear a performance from them today. Forrest, Courtney, Jacob, welcome to the television studio.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're glad to have you on our show, and it's going to be exciting to hear about the music and hear it performed. Before we do, though, let me find out what your thoughts are about your own genre. What is the genre? How would you describe for our viewing audience? How do you define the genre of your music?
I have been starting to call it animist folk rock because it's very lyric driven, and the lyrics often delve into the mystery of life and our inherent connection to the natural world.
Well, I'm sure that each of you has your own inspirations. So, Forrest, let me start with you.
Sure.
Who are your inspirations in terms of influences for your music?
One big one for this album is definitely Jethro Tull. Sort of the ability to create a song that has a level of complexity that can hold people's attention, but also be unique enough that it brings something sort of new and interesting without straying into territory that's too weird. I think Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull has always done that, and so just in this period in my life, he's one of my biggest influences.
Well, Courtney, maybe you could let our viewers know what you do with the band and who your influences are.
Sure. So I'm the harmony vocalist in the band, and I would say my influences are probably like Simon and Garfunkel, Fleet Foxes, First Aid Kit, bands that are really emphasizing on harmonies, close harmonies.
Terrific. Jacob, what's your role with the band, and who are your influences?
Well, I play bass and sometimes do harmonies, probably more in the future, but my influences, well, I listen to a lot of stuff, but lately XTC, Yes, stuff like that. No.
Jacob listens to the most music of anyone that I know, or at least the most diverse array of music. And honestly, for the last 9 months since I met Jacob, most of the music that I have listened to has been things that Jacob has sent me.
I send a lot of music.
Yep.
So his listening habits are more eclectic than is your band's music, would you say?
Well, sure. We're limited by our instrumentation to some extent. And yeah, Jacob and Courtney too, we all have incredibly eclectic taste. But, Jacob has sent me things spanning the entire range of genres. And it's all spot on, and I always end up listening to each thing he sends me for the next week until he sends something new.
Well, how did all this diversity come together? How did the band get started?
Okay, yeah, so the way that the band got started really was I started plinking around on the piano when I was like 8 and writing songs, and that transitioned into me teaching myself drums and getting really into that in middle school, and then picking up guitar in high school and starting to really write songs. And then that went through many different iterations, from grunge to progressive rock to classical music to then sort of electronic rock for a few years. And now I wanted to really get back to something that I like, a style of music that I can make outdoors, that I can bring with me places really easily, where I'm not toting around a bunch of keyboards, and where I can want to sing the melodies when I'm out backpacking, songs that stand on their own without a lot of extra nonsense. And so I started going out and just playing these songs out and about in Eugene, and I've been thrilled that people have been inspired to join this project. That's how it's been. And one thing to note is I have never had to ask either of them to change a single note that they play. They have joined and added something spectacular to every single song that just fits. And it's incredible to me to see people's paths kind of merge like this in a way
so
that's
there's a
so
convergence.
organic. Yeah, converge, exactly.
Organic convergence.
Mm-hmm.
And so our viewers can understand, you're the singer-songwriter, and you write these songs, but they write their own parts.
Yes. Yep. About a year ago, a little less than a year ago, I met Jacob, and we had to play a 3-hour-long gig pretty much right after I met him. And so I invited him to play this show with me and sent him like 50 songs to learn. And he learned them all in about 2 weeks.
Wow, that's impressive.
Time consuming, but it was fun.
Yep. And with Courtney and I met about 9 months ago, and it was pretty much the same deal. She just was clearly so dedicated to learn the songs, and she sings harmonies on every single note of every song.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. Courtney, did he inundate you with 50 songs too? And you had to...
He did. He sent me his Google Docs of all of the songs, and I work as a nurse, so I'd have one of my earphones in at work, or my earbuds in, and I'd just be listening to his songs on repeat and like trying to form harmonies. And I just started listening to his music all the time, and while I was doing other things, and yeah, it's been fun. I love it though. I love his music, so it's a pleasure.
Did 50 songs fill 3 hours? That sounds right about right.
Yeah, I don't think we took any breaks. I don't know.
Oh
Wow,
man.
it's very impressive.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, it's time for us to talk about your first song.
Okay. That song is called Julia Butterfly Hill.
So when I hear the title, Julia Butterfly Hill, I'm curious, what is the inspiration for that song?
Sure. So Julia Butterfly Hill, back in the 90s, exactly 27 years ago, she was a young activist, and she was upset by the logging of old growth redwoods in California. And she went, which as we all know, only 5% still exist of the redwoods that used to be everywhere in California. And she went up into a tree called Luna, and she stayed there for 2 years, and she successfully stopped the tree from being chopped down. And so it's sort of a love song, a longing, a song that expresses longing to find someone like Julia Hill. So it's sort of a romantic song, but it ended up becoming much more than that because of her activism and because of all the philosophies that I share with her in terms of environmentalism. The lyrics also embody a lot of sort of radical counterculture narratives as well around the meaning of love and the need to take a path as for the whole human race that is lighter on the earth and doesn't damage nature so much. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All I ever asked for was a little love at the end of the world. Someone to lay on my shoulder and watch the sunset of civilization. But it's everyone from everyone. Isn't that just the problem? We're separated from the earth. Now we do the same to each other till we learn. I've been climbing trees still, looking for my Julia Butterfly Hill. I heard she learned to fly, but we still believe in love. We think it might be the only thing that we really bring that means anything at all. To live a life before love is lost. Lately I wonder how long it has left. Secret economy's cutting costs. How can you give when your heart is in debt? Working to heal the hole in me. Often the days are lonely. To see beyond the city walls and hear the call of the rest of me. Even when she's crying, I've been climbing trees still, looking for my Julia Butterfly Hill. I heard she learned to fly, but it's everyone from everyone. Isn't that just the problem? We've turned away from the earth. Now we do the same to each other till we learn to remember to return to the power of the heart. I've been climbing trees still, looking for my Julia Butterfly Hill. I heard then I'll never die, but we still believe in love. We think it might be the only thing that we really bring that means anything at all.
All right, that's awesome. Well, when you think about the first song that you've just performed, or the second song that you'll be performing, what jumps out at you as some maybe poignant lyrics, something that resonates with you and has particular meaning that you could expound on?
Sure. From Julia Butterfly Hill, there are a lot of little nuggets to pick out of that song. One, I think, is the second half of the chorus, which is, we still believe in love. We think it might be the only thing we bring that means anything. And that, to me, speaks to the part of the narrative of the song that is about how I think our culture, to a large extent, has forgotten what love really is, and is almost trying to actually commodify love at this point, when love is something that can't be commodified because it's something that needs to be given freely. And I spend a lot of time trying to figure out how to be of best service in this world and how to do the most good. And I think that meditating on the true meaning of love and how to bring that today feels to me to be very clearly the most important thing that I can do with my time.
Well, let's discuss the second song that you'll be performing.
Sure. This song's called When the Hair Hides Your Face, and it is a metaphor for my experiences with romantic love. And we're working on an album right now, and about half the album are sort of these environmental protest songs like Julia Butterfly Hill. but about half the album is also composed of romantic love songs that are mostly sort of a sense of longing for a deeper connection. And When the Hair Hides Your Face, I think, kind of ties them all together in a way. And it tells a story of my life and my experiences in relationships, which have been really beautiful, but also challenging. And to a large extent, that's been because I am a dreamer, and I tend to dream that people are different than the way that they are, instead of seeing them for who they truly are. And that's been my challenge. And so the song it's a poem, and it's a metaphor for that.
Now I've cleaned the hair of 5 women from my broom. No more laughter echoes through my lonely room. A trade I must have made in another life, it seems, to weave her between, to turn life to dream, and tie you underneath the seam. Sleeping all alone in the house I bought for you. A single father to the songs that we once knew. For a moment she got tangled in your hair. Now I know she was never really there. Nothing but a prayer in the air. Take the easy way, my garden of pain and she's the rain, baby. You don't know what a curse it is to love a girl who does not exist. You're a casualty in a war I waged with myself. I only wanted to keep us kids. And now you'll never know the heart I hid. Last night I ran into a friend that we once knew. First thing he asked was if I ever married you. When I meet somebody new, I'll have to ask, please keep it underneath your hat. You never know when she might be back. I couldn't take the easy way, my garden of pain and she's the rain, baby. You don't know what a curse it is to love a girl who does not exist. I only wanted to keep us kids. Now you'll never know the heart I had. Now I'm only a fly along and watch us on a drive in the rain. I can't tell what you're saying when the hair hides your face. You're a casualty in a war I waged with myself. I only wanted to keep us kids. And now you'll never know the heart I hid.
Well, awesome. Forrest, let's go directly into discussing the third song.
Sure, this song is called Earthback. And the title deserves a little explanation. The last line of the song is, "I want my earth back." And this is a pretty darn radical environmental protest song with a pretty interesting angle to it. And the term earth back is an allusion to the term land back, which is a radical movement that seeks to return land that has been taken by settlers to the indigenous people who, lived and worked the land for tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of years. And so Earthback takes that concept and applies it to the entire Earth. And this idea came to me in deep meditation. I spend a lot of time in meditation, and what I find is when my thoughts finally start to clear away spontaneously, I gain a sense of self that expands dramatically to encompass all life. And I realize that my sense of self is actually just a sense of being itself. It's not my name, it's not my job, it's not any of the problems I have or the things that I'm proud of in my life or anything. It's just a sense of existing. And from that sprung this realization that life has, ever since the beginning of life, beings have been born from their mothers. And so we're actually just, in a very real sense, one continuous being that just continues to live and regenerate. And so we have such a sense of separateness in our culture today. And I don't think that it is legitimate. And in silence, I find by doing nothing that I'm returned to a sense of deep awe and connection to all life. And this song came from that. And along with that sense comes a sense of invulnerability and power to defend life and beauty on this planet.
Something's been knocking at my door. Something's been calling from my core. So I sit and listen as something inside me spins, until I breathe and take away the wind. And I step off of the wheel for a while. And in this bliss I break a spell. I don't listen to what the world would call myself. I am just the latest face, unbroken back I trace. 3 billion years to find my family name. And I know I'm still the same wild love that came to let a larger life unfold, and won't stand to watch the world grow cold. I won't be hypnotized, separated from the stars. I'm severed from the earth, and I still wear the scars. Let this lonely illusion show us what we are, what awaits within our hearts. Forget we've followed fear so far. The call of the wild says you never need to be afraid. Your thoughts evaporate, but you'll never go away. Just a life that wants to love, a love that wants to live. But the city takes so much more than it gives. So I stand with the wild of the earth, and a land so defiled for an artificial world. I want no part in this machine that consumes the soul. Take my hand and dream a world of love. I'm an unbroken life, 3 billion years old. I'm the same wild will that started it all. A forgotten nappy, staff under attack. And I want my earth back. And I want my earth back.
Well, as we wind down our interview, we've been able to enjoy 3 of your performances, and that may be all that we have time for today, but I know that we're going to be dedicating an entire episode to your music as well, and I think that our viewers may already have gotten to see that before this interview. But my question for you is where the band is headed. What kind of direction are you going?
Well, right now the most important thing is we're working on an album, but it should be out in about a month.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, where can people find out more about Forest Mountain Lion, the sound that you make, and really about the history of the band?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So we have an Instagram. It's just Forest Mountain Lion. If you Google Forest Mountain Lion, it will actually come up with us as the top result, which is cool.
That's
Then
very cool.
everything after that are obviously things about mountain lions. But we have a website, forestmountainlion.com. And the website has links to stream everything. You can find my past albums and when this airs, the new album on all streaming platforms if you just look up Forest Mountain Lion. And on the website, people can sign up for an email list to see when upcoming shows are. We're playing a lot of shows.
Okay. Well, Forrest, I want to thank you and each of your band members for being here with us today. So thank you to Forrest. Courtney Wade, thank you for joining us today. Jacob Sellers, thank you for being here today. And thank you especially for allowing us to enjoy your performances.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our pleasure. And thank you for watching. We appreciate that you've tuned in to see this local band. And today we've been so fortunate to hear the sound of Forest Mountain Lion and some awesome performances. This is the television stage for local musicians. We hope you'll watch our program again. We'll see you next time.
Now I've cleaned the hair of 5 women from my broom. No more laughter echoes through my lonely room. A trade I must have made in another life, it seems, to weave her between, to turn life to dream, and tie you underneath the seam. Sleeping all alone in the house I bought for you. A single father to the songs that we once knew.